Welcome, welcome. It's all about the back. And as we look at this, you know, it could be the front. I just love how these break away and pull away. And so you certainly could do the same to the front, but today this is actually the back. So I love this combination. Again, we're seeing lace everywhere, so I've just got to do some lace projects. This is a non-stretch lace, and you don't want it to be a stretch lace because regular lace has better drape. Stretch lace is lighter, and it just doesn't drape as well. So having said that, we'll start with all about the fabrics. And in this particular case, it's like a pontoroma, although the fabric itself is lighter than a pontoroma, but you certainly could make, it's like a pontoroma. I guess I really didn't think about it because instantly when I saw it, I wanted to make a top and I wanted to blend it with black lace. So it's really beautiful. These are all from Rebecca Taylor. I hope you're not sick of that name yet, but we've got some lovely fabrics, and so this is one from her. But this pontoroma is mostly cotton. It's got a little poly, but it's mostly a cotton pontoroma, and it's got a beautiful stretch and a beautiful hand to it, so that's why I went to a top. So it takes a yard of each. It takes a yard of the pontoroma and a yard of the lace, and that's all you need to get started, and we're going to show it to you. And again, this is the back. And then I did a little lace sleeve because I just wanted to keep it light. So there's only 3 pieces. Let's go through and I'll show you what to do. Fun and easy. In this particular case, I used 113. But you could use any of your sweater sets that are just lengthened. I just used 113 because it was already done. And all you're using are 3 pieces. You're going to use the top, the back, the front, the top, the front, the back, and the sleeve. The front I'm going to put away. I always do this. I'm going to put it away because I'm not going to use any, I don't do any changes to the front. Leave the front just exactly like it is. You'll notice here, that is actually the back of the fabric turned out. It's not a fold over elastic, but it works beautifully. And when you have a print like this, remember I've said you always want to give it a stop. So to have a neck piece, you know, a contrast on there, you can use the fold over elastic. This was just a little, it was there and it was quick and easy, so I just used that. But you just want to fold it to the back and then you can just top stitch it. Because it's a black, I actually stitched the edge. I serged the edge and then turned it out and then stitched it down. So a yard of each fabric. I'm going to take the back, and what I did is I copied it twice. So let's put the sleeve over here for a minute. I took this back just exactly as it was, and I made 2 whole copies. Okay, so put that aside, and then once you do that, and I'm going to show you where I did it on the French curve so that you can use my numbers. Now I saw this at a, let's go to the back, and just so it doesn't tip, I'm putting my scissors there just to hold it firm. I saw this on a woman at a luncheon, and I just fell in love with it, and I just ran over and disturbed her completely. Anyway, and you know, a lot of women, when you ask them about their clothing, they like to be asked about their clothing. So she actually told me quite a bit about it. She told me what it cost, where she got it, where I could get one. And all those things are really nice because all I wanted to do was kind of steal the idea. But anyway, so if you notice, I'm going to hold this up a little bit. This curve comes in, and this piece underneath is curved, so it kind of makes like a tail. So I'm going to do just that. I took the first back piece. This is going to be my lace, and you're going to curve it. I didn't shorten the length. I didn't change the length. This is actually going to have a hem in it, so that's going to give you the difference. And it's going to be a little longer than the front, so I didn't change it at all. And I used on the French curve when I laid it down on the back piece. Let's come back to this back just so you can see the differences. I laid the French curve there at the back and just brought it right in. Now you could change that. You could, if you wanted it over a little more, you could bring the French curve over there. But what I did is I used 0 at center back, and I used 22 at the bottom. Actually, I used 21. So that just brings it out a little bit farther. I wanted a little more back to show. But again, it's totally design here. The only thing I would do is recommend that you use the French curve to create that curved line. It's really pretty. Now, I also, just an FYI, I went to a larger size on the lace. So the back that I copied was larger. And the reason why is because if this has a negative ease underneath, I wanted this to flow smoothly. The other pattern I have on Giorgio's top, and that's the other pattern I thought about using because it flares at the bottom, and you could put together the two side pieces and then have a little bit of flare at the bottom. All your choices, all fun ideas. I just wanted to give how easy this back is and how cute this little sleeve is together and how close it is. It looks so different, but it's really close to what we have, just with a couple changes. So then all I did was cut that away, part of the French curve, but again, it doesn't matter. I went from 19 being at center back, and I went over to 9 at the side. And so that's the look I got. And you can see that it's longer here, and it forms kind of a shirt tail edge, and that shirt tail edge is kind of fun. When I did that, I took off an inch off the length of the back, and then I hemmed it. And I only hemmed it 3/8 of an inch, but that does make it shorter than the lace. So you can see when it's on, you've got a little longer lace on the side than what you do on the back. I just love this. I really love it. I think it's so cute. All right, so that's it. Then the only other thing I did was the sleeve. And I took a short sleeve length. Obviously, you could make this sleeve whatever length you wanted it to be. But I took it, I cut it off. And then, of course, you know how to do this. I just slash, slash, slash. This is all the bottom that's being slashed. I started with, and I wrote this down too, I started with it being the circumference of that sleeve only being 11 inches, and that included seam allowance. Then I took it all the way to, I think I took it to 28. Yeah, I took it to 26. So a little more than 1 to 1.5, because I really liked, I was okay if it was a little more full than the 1 to 1.5. So I just really like how that lay, again, no hemming there, but I inserted it just like I would a knit sleeve. Your lace has a little bit of give to it, even though it's not a stretch lace. And so it'll sew into that armhole with no problem, even though it's a woven fabric into a knit. It sews in no problem, but that's, again, just because it's lace. So construction-wise, I did my darts in my front. I hemmed the front, I hemmed the back, because they actually don't meet. And the lace is going to be on top. So I just hem the front, hem the back, and then sew the shoulder seams. And I overlapped this just a little bit there, because remember it was, I added like an inch strip down the back so that it would have just a little more accent there, and I just love it. So the sewing of it was French darts, hem the front, hem the back, sew the shoulder seams. Once I sewed the shoulder seams, I had the lace in there, because you're layering these two layers together when you sew the shoulder seam. And then I went ahead and did the neckline. I turned the black to the outside, I hemmed the neckline, I set in the sleeves, and then did the side, just like regular. And once you do the sides, it's completely done. I just love it. I hope you love it. It's all about the back, and lace is everywhere. A little ponte roma, great combination. Happy sewing from Silhouette Patterns.